the US pre-market movers and levels and a company which are very close to my pancreas.
Indeed. Krispy Kreme donuts, I think we're all a sucker for a box of their lovely fare. $14.30, down 19.35%. So something's obviously gone awry here because they posted both a second quarter earnings and revenue miss, and more to the point, they lowered guidance for the full year. So obviously we're not buying enough sugary confection, and that's feeding through into the Krispy Kreme bottom line. And then moving on to Ambarella, one we touched on only a week or so ago. That's AMBA in the US, $68.47, down 6.04%. Just to flag that was on a closing basis, so they are a smidgen easier pre-market. Just wanted to mention why that was. And the fact is that the shares in the video chip maker fell again as GoPro and the GoPro CEO presented at a Citigroup conference yesterday, and it didn't bode well for either GoPro or Ambarella. Last time round it was Ambarella, or GoPro rather, falling on the back of Umbrella numbers, and this time it's Ambarella falling on the back of the GoPro statement. So these two companies are basically intertwined, and what happens to one it would seem.
The bad thing that happens to one tends to happen to the other.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it's
a negative spiral at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. Right, and on to cash equity levels. First of all, starting in Europe, but in terms of the FTSE, we're watching 61.60 on the downside, plays 62.30 to the upside. European markets are a smidgen easier this morning, falling off from falls in Asia. For the DAX now, we're watching 10,210, plays 10,330 to the upside, very much around the day's range there. For the S&P, 1927 now to the downside, plays 1950 on the upside. And for the Dow, which had a sharp fall yesterday, 16,225 now, plays 16,300. That's probably the tightest we've been able to get that range for about 10 days, I would suggest. So I doubt that means the end of volatility, and we could still see some sharp swings there. Currency-wise, a little bit calmer. Euro, US dollar, 111.77 now. Our downside level plays 112.12 to the upside. In Aussie dollar, US dollar, we've remained above the 70 handle, so 70.20 on the downside, plays 70.94 to the upside, and I suppose the bulls there will be hoping to crest that 71 even number at some stage. Dollar yen, rather pedestrian, despite the sell-off in Tokyo this morning in terms of equities. 120.65 on the downside, plays 121.30 to the upside. And cable, 153.34 on the downside, plays 154.08 on the upside. You might think that's strange to nominate that level, given that we're traded as high as 154.30, 35, something like that, post the Bank of England. But what I want to see is actually cable close above 154.08 if it can, because what the pattern has been for cable to try to make sort of intraday gains, but not be able to hang on to them. So let's see if we can close above our resistance at 154.08.